So, all right, team. So, once again, thank you so much for joining. And in today's session, we'll be learning about Terraform Meta-Argument Lifecycle. So, we'll see how it works in today's basically sessions. Like we have different kind of lifecycle, such as create before destroy, prevent destroy, and ignore changes. These are very important, basically, to manage your infrastructure. Depends on the situation, right? Let me give one example with storage account. Let me create one storage account first. As I told you, I don't have anything. I will go with the very scratch. Uh, what we'll do. If you don't know how to create storage account, you can simply go to the documentations. Simply you can type as storage account in Terraform, something like that. You, or directly you can go to documents also. Anyway, you can do it. So first thing what I need was, as I mentioned, I would be needing the providers. So let me copy the provider first. So I have here BS Core, here installed. This is an empty folder. Right now I don't have anything. Let me create one folder called as a provider, right? This provider can be within your main.tab also. It depends on you. I want to manage separately. That is why I'm using it here. First thing I will update here as features of the providers. This is how I need to be the thing. Okay. Then this is empty features. Now provided. Now what is next? Now I need the resource group also. So I can simply copy paste everything. Otherwise I can modify it. So let's do simplest way. We copy pasted everything. Okay. So we'll go to the where under same main.tab, right? Storage account would be under main.tab. So I'll copy paste it so that we can save. So what I need to modify here? First thing I need to modify the local name. So in my case, this is about the resource group. Give as RG as local name. Now this name also, this basically hard coded value. So I will use some variable for this one also. Same way I will use some variable for this all also. Okay. As I told you, this is a hard code value. I should not be using this one. Now, first thing we know what we need, right? So this is okay for now. Next, I also would be needing a what is this variable, because we want to define variable, right? Variables.tf file. Now, what else I need? I also would be needing a. This is again optional for in our case, yes, but it is always good to know. We will also be learning about output, right? .tf file. The question is why we are using output and everything. I'll explain anyway. First thing, let us go with the main.tab. So as I told you, whenever you want to create any resource, you can take directly official documentations. You can see. Say for example, if you see the resource group looks very small, but if you go official documentations of this particular resource, I mean to say only the resource group block, I can open one more tab. Okay, I can open one more tab here. If you go to resource group, this is a individual managed resource group, right? If you go to example, this is what you can see, right? Now, if you can notice here, there is a called argument reference. As you click here, you can see argument reference under here. You can see the following arguments are supported. So whichever you notice here, location is something required, name also required. Rest there is a managed by, tags, this on ID. These all are optional. That means you don't have to manage like explicitly mention others and all, like tag and all, but it is optional, depends on your choice, right? Now but these two are important. That means this is the reason why by default this name and location I have defined. But question is, this particular name is not defined as a dynamic way, in the sense it is hard coded value, but this is difficult to manage it. If you had to manage multiple resource, it is difficult for you to manage it, right? So what I'll do, I will define this one resource group name as a variable and the location also. So how I can do that? Go to variable.tab. So I am going to bypass pass this. Okay, so I can simply mention variable type. Whenever you want to define a variable, just type first variable. You can use automate or what I call auto tab also. then you can mention the name of the variable. This name of the variable, if you notice, as I told you, this is a resource group, Azure RM resource group. No, you don't have to give the full name. You can give any name that you wish to give. In my case, I can just give a resource group. That's it, right? So resource group, like I can give a resource. I can give a group, but normally you should not be using like this in the real time or maybe any time. You should not be using with space. Always you have to use underscore or hyphen in variable. If it is two different this thing, right? Like resource has a different word, another, right? You have to use a underscore or a hyphen. Depends on your choice again. Now is the second thing. Now I need to define a data types. As I told you, data type why is important. Based on your resource group, like we have to know like what is this name is nothing but it is a string, location also string. So that is why now we have to define a type also here. So here we can define type, right? Data type. What is the string, right? String. Now what is the default value? As I told you, this default value can be passed in a tier bars, but in our simplest way to understand, for now I will define the default value also. That means default value for what particular resource group. In my case, what name I want to give my RG dev 01. This is the resource group name I want, right? For now, I just keep it simple. And also before that, there is also one more thing I can mention is I can give also description. If you at all need it, depends on you. You can define wherever you feel. In my case, you can mention resource group. You can mention like resource group, something like that. This is just to make you understand better. This is why I mentioned it. You don't need any this because this is description, right? This can have a space or anything, no issue. Okay, you can go 2 3 space, no issue. Okay, this is how we have to manage. So this is a simple one. Now let me save. That means I have got a location name and this. Now what is the location then? What is the location name now? Same thing. I can copy paste it because I don't want to type again and again. So simply I will copy paste it same variables. I can instead of the name I can simply mention as a location because I got a resource group. I can just locations, and as I told you, this is will be location again. Change the variable name. I mean description name. Then next, as I told you, this also is location of string, right? What is a location? I can mention is a West US. Any location that you wish to give. Okay, so that means I have defined now hard-coded value, whatever is there. I want this to be passed, right? So now I can call. How can I define this? Simply, if I want to call the resource group name, call var dot. Var is nothing but it's a variable dot resource group. This is how. That means variable I'm calling from variable now I'm called as a resource group. This is where I have defined it here, right? Mean sorry, here resource group. Same way, location also I need to call it. So okay, this is good. I'm good with first thing. Now let us do because this is very simple now. But if you notice here, this little complex, right? Now if you notice here, because this has a different value and tag has another thing. So how we can define? So what we can do is I can mention the here as a local name as anything that I can give, storage I can give it, and name also I need to pass. Look, this also I need to pass everything. So how can I pass this thing? So first thing, let me change the resource group. Resource group, as I told you, it will be taken from the resource group. I will take the same resource group. That means Azure RM resource group. This is a resource group dot then local name. What is the local name? RC, right? And dot name, because I want to use this resource group. This is our name. If you notice also Azure RM resource group till here dot RG, then dot name because I'm referring the name of this one. Resource group name. Same way for the location also I can do it. Uh, RG dot locations. That means resource groups location, same thing. Okay. Now good. What about others? This and all. This also, as I told you, you can define a separate variable for storage account. If you at all one, so example, let me do it. I can simply go to variables. I can define one more variable for the storage account. Sorry, my bad. I can mention as storage. You can give underscore or hyphen. Storage account. Okay. Now type. What can I give type? I will give map-b this time. I can give a object or map of object. But I will try to use a map of object because the reason why I will explain later. Okay, I'll use mostly map of object because it has a advanced data structure. Now, then I have now a map of object I define. Now I need to define the value basically. Let's example, what is the first I need? I need to define the storage account name. Then I need to define this one, right? So let me copy name. I can define. Then name is the string. As I told you, this also string, right? But here string, then name. Sorry, my bad. This is also string. Okay. 1 minute, right? Okay, next, as I told you, I want to pass this also. How can I pass? I pass here also. Type. This also a string. Okay, so I don't want to define others because as I told you, already others are already I am getting from somewhere else, so I don't need others to define. So now let me call the storage account first. Where dot, sorry, I need to define actual value. Now this is a string. Now here I can type as a default value. Now as I told you, normally this value should be passed, only it should be defined this much, but actual value should be passed in your TFS file. Okay, but for now, simplicity purpose, I'm defining here so that you can see better. So let me just define default name, right? Whatever name I have it, in my case, this is for the storage account, right? So I can do something like that. Name. This form is coming 1 minute. Just delete this also otherwise. Okay, let me define here. Then what is the next? Next, I want to okay locations there. The containers we have, do one thing, I will make it as and then instead of this thing object because as I told you, we don't have the container now. Make it, I'll just use the what I call storage object. I'm going to use it for now because I don't have a containers created now. Or I don't have to map multiple times. Simply I can use a type object. Okay, then I can give a string, name string. What else? Name. Storage tiers. Then next is this thing. Default. No, I can give a name because data I have defined, right? What is the value? I can give anything stg storage, something like that. I can give storage Pulse 01, something like that. It should be small letter, everything. Same way for the
So account type is empty. I mean, replication type is string.
which one?
You need to mention replication type is equal to string. You need to mention.
Oh, this one. Sorry, my bad. Correct. Thank you for that. Yeah. Okay. So I have defined it here. Then account here. I can just copy paste it, or I can type it also. Account here. This also. What is account here? We can check here. Account here. It is a standard. Sorry. Account here. It is here, right? So I can just copy paste it on standard. How is copying? What not able to copy what? Okay, so I'm copying this thing. Same way I can copy it for the another one. That is, I think, replication type GRS. But replication type. Okay, so replication type. Sorry, account replication type. The question is, whatever value I have defined, this one I could see here. Even I can see in the documentation also, right? Storage account, if you go, I can see, I can define it. But question is, actually in your real time or maybe in your any situation, they will not be using the standard, right? So how do I know what all supported arguments are there, right? So I need to know the supported arguments. So this is why we always try to use the official documents, that is a Terraform official documentation. So say for example, this all okay, but if when it comes to here, like replication type, whatever value, let's say whatever value I had replication type as a GRS and account tier as a standard, let's say there is any other value, how do I know what not supported value? Because here it will not come, it will not come automatic, you have to type it manually, the actual value. But this one was already there before, that is why we are able to refer now. But let's say if you want to modify or you want to check what other possible value can have here for the contour as well as replication type, that we can check it. So how we can check it? Always, let's say I want to check value for like possible value for the account here. Just copy this one, go to the official documents. This is my official documents, right? Under official, go to same storage block, resource block, then control F you do. Then just there is a search button, type there. Now, as I told you, this is a standard by default value, but I don't want this one. I want something else. Then come down. Still, I could see this one. Let's say come down once again, type. If you could notice here, this is something required, right? Required, that is okay, but what is the other possible value I can define instead of the standard, right? So we can see define the tier to use for the storage account. Valid options are, that means these are valid options. They can use a standard, which is already by default, maybe premium, and also for the this and other. So this all we need to understand it. So in my case, instead of the standard, if I want to use the premium, I can simply copy paste here and update it as the premium. Same way for the this also, I want to, instead of GRS, I want to check some other, let's say LRS or maybe JRS, right? So I can simply copy here. So you can see here, right? Whichever you want. So but always try to understand one thing is there. Sometimes there is some default values are there, not for everything but certain resources. Okay, anyway, so as I told you, there are different values I can define. So instead of the ZRS, I can define as anything. Let me give as a LRS. LRS nothing but local redundant storage. Okay, local redundant storage. Now I can mention instead of GRS mean geo redundant storage. Now I'll make it as a local. Now this is okay. Now this is pending, right? Look, how can I call? As I told you, sorry, storage account, and the storage account is okay, but it's still getting error. What is showing now? No declaration found for where storage account Terraform. That means you have defined this thing, but you have not explicitly defined a name, because in this variable under storage account variable you have defined something called as a name, right? But you have not called it. So if you go here, variable, there is a storage account. As I told you, name is a string. What is the name value? This one, right? I want to pass this one, means I want to pass this actual value, means I have to call with a name. So that means now I have to give a name here. Okay, now it looks fine. Same way, let me go with another one, that is a tag. So as I mentioned, if you have a multiple tags, this is okay, looks good. Let's say if I have another, say for example, DE department as service is equal to, I can mention IT ladder. If you have so many tags, let's say more than maybe 50 or maybe 20 tags in your resource block, this does not look good, or nobody wants to see this many tags also in your actual code, right? In your Terraform configuration file. So instead of this also, we can also define multiple tags in variable file. So instead of this one, this code can, this your Terraform code can look even much more simpler. So how we can do that? Let us see that also. So as I told you, I want to define 10 different tags. I can simply go here. Here we need to understand what is a tag actually. Tags actually, if I mention like say, you have to, for using mean you have to use a what is the data type I have to use it, right? That also you need to understand. Let's see. So in this case, as I told you, they have multiple tags, mean you have to use a string. That means string mean how we have so many values, right? Strings we have to map it. How, why to map? Because if you noticed here, like the environment has to map to the staging, or maybe the department has to map to the IT, how it has to map automatically. So this is why we use a list of string, sorry, map of string. Let me do that. So as I told you, let me do here. Now variables, then I can mention the name of the variable. In my case, just give a text or command text, whatever name you want. If you want to give a description also, you can give. This is optional, but yes, you can give. This is for only, just for to understand in better way. Okay, this is you. This is use, or this tag you can mention this. Okay, like this, and these tags are used only for, you can mention as a dev environment, let's say that, something like that, just to identify this as any definition, description I can give it. Now next, as I told you, always you have to type a type, as I told you, in this case, because I just not one tag, or I have more than 10, right? Maybe whatever number. So instead of this one, what I can use there, I can simply use a map of string, because I want to map all the strings that is available in my tier bars file. I mean variable file. This is good. Now what I can do next, I can go with the default. As I told you, this all default value normally you can pass anywhere you want to pass it. So in my case, I can give as same as whatever I have defined it here, right? Let's say the environment I have given as this one. Environment I can give as copy paste here this thing. I think staging, right? Same like that. And then what is next? I also have a departments is equal to IT. So basically, I'm trying to do everything, and I will keep it for now. I'll keep here because I want to show you department IT. Okay. Then what else? I can define anything. Let's say owner. Owner. Is this okay? Spelling owner. Okay. Owner is equal to something, anything here, and let's say like that. I want to basically define so many this thing applications. You can mention any particular application. Let's say web. like that. This is a string, right? So always string time, because this is a string, right? We have to use the double quotes here. Whenever you use a string, try to use a double quotes always. But in this case, on your left side, that is your actually value, right? You have to make the key value pair. So at this time, even if you don't use the code double quotes, that is still fine. It can work. So I can remove also if you don't need it, or you can keep it if you want. So choice is up to you. Now, what if you notice one thing? These lines are not organized. See, this three line. Okay, let me do one thing. One line I'll move here. Second line I'll do here. That means this particular core same way any other place basically like this, just to make this thing. That what if you notice here, that means this particular core somewhere it is meshed, like it is not in the right, it is not organized properly, right? Somewhere it is up and down like this. So how I can make this corrected, right? Let me do that also. Normally we should be looking this also whether your syntax are in the right format or not. Let me do that first. Go to terminal, click here, then you simply type. Before that, let me basically Terraform initialize. I need to do it. Terraform init, right? Okay. Meanwhile, it may take some time. It is initialized. Now, as I told you, this format is in the not correct format. No, let me make, if you see here, this have then let me make this simple fmt. Okay. There is a two commands are there. Fmt means what it does. There is a one more call as a force. Okay, you can use only fmt is nothing but format. Fmt is nothing but it's a format. Forcefully I can format your syntax. Otherwise I can use a bit of force. Now if I use also, see, it is organized properly, so nicely. There's no any this thing. You see every time how well it is now organized now. So this is the power of using the fmt or format. Now question is, there is a one more command which I was showing, force, right? Question is, when can I use this one? Even if I want this time also, I can use it. There's nothing harm. I can use anything, right? Let me save this one first. I can save. I can use a force. 1 minute. Right? What is saying? Spelling correct. Double dash force. Okay. Yeah. So as I told you, there's nothing harm to define it, but in this case, we cannot basically recursive force. Recursive. Sorry, not force. It is a my bad. It is a recursive actually. RECU. You can check recursive. You can copy paste it or this thing. Okay. Recursive spelling. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this then if you see here, now it will come what modify, you modify this variable, right? It is recursive. Now question is, it is not a force, it is a actually recursive. Why this we are using this one is because, say for example, if you are having in the one Terraform, let's say you have under this folder or directory, you have all the Terraform configuration file, right? If you have this kind of same organized way, then you can use only these commands fmt, Terraform fmt. But if you have a folder, let's say you have the folder called as the Terraform Lifecycle. Inside this, if you have a multiple subfolder, right? Now Terraform inside there is a multiple subfolder has a Terraform configuration file. You cannot go and see everywhere, right? Where it is syntax are not correct or not organized. You cannot go and see. This is when we can use a recursive commands, so that wherever there is any changes that is required or maybe to be updated properly, syntax this thing like alignment and all, it will do by default for you. Okay, this is how we can do it. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Now let's go with the Terraform plan. Validations, I can check it if I told need. there is an issue. Okay, let us see. Okay, first so let me update. I didn't update this one first. Tag also I need to update. As I told you, this is a tag block. I can remove this one, and now I can simply use the using the variable tags dot. I mean tags equal bear dot tags, right? This is the name that we have defined it here. So we have used it now. So in tags it will be updated here automatically. Okay, next. This is good. This is good. Location good. Now, if you the storage account, there is some name. There is what they are telling. The managed resource, that is a resource group example, has not been declared in the root module. So let me see. Let me go to main.tab. Your providers. Okay. Let me go to resource. Right. So this is a resource group. This is the locations and storage accounts. Okay. Then let's go under line number. If you see here, line number main.tab, line number 9. Line number 9 means this is the one. Where is that? This locations, right? This location is taking resource group locations. Okay, in my case, I will do resource group example. I didn't give an example, right? I given as a resource group name only.
Bro, you can mention that where that location, huh? Why this thing?
Which one?
The location also.
Yeah.
You can mention directly where that location, huh?
No, that's okay. I'll give this thing. Actually, there is a default. This value is coming. This thing, right? Manage this thing. Vendor location line number 9. But I did not give line number 9 as vendor location example, right? I given as the this name, RG name only.
It's also fine. Okay.
Yeah, it should be fine. Let me check this one. This time I'll just go S2S. This S2S.
Bro, in the provider, you haven't given subscription details, no?
Yeah, I'm just trying without that also once. Okay, it is pass. While defining, it is taking a default value. So I'm able to pass it now. Okay. Fine. Now, yeah. So now I'll run Terraform plan. I want to actually check without defining the subscription this time. Let's see. If subscription is required, yeah. So as I told you, before it was not required. Now we need to define the subscription also. So I will copy the subscription details where it is subscriptions. Okay, so maybe I'll go to the providers. This time, like as I mentioned last time, I have to mention here subscriptions ID is equal to just this is string, right? Copy paste it. I mean, just yeah, this is how it should be fine. Okay, now it should work. Like as I told you, the whatever the actually we have defined a value. This should not be defined here. It has to be in the TFVers file. But for now, just to make things simple, we are defining in the same variable file only. Okay, so looks good. Okay, now let me do one thing. Let me now go over one by one concept. Let's understand the create before destroy. Okay, otherwise we'll go with the create before destroy. Now what I'll do, I want to create storage account, right? I can define where I can define this block, right? This block is something. Where is that? Sorry. Here, right? This block where I can define actually. This will be your nested block basically. Nested block in the sense inside resource you can define it. Let me show you. So whenever I want to, let's say I'm going the one of the meta argument that is called as a create before destroy. Let's say example, I want to destroy this particular resource group, or maybe this thing. What I can do, this, let's say storage account I want to destroy. What I can do is that destroy the here, right, under in the same type, under same block, not inside. Okay, this is a type here, outside within same line. This is another block, so you can just type a life cycles. 1 minute, I think. Sorry, not in a variable. I am in the main.tf file here, right? So under the same line, I can define here, or like you can use the life cycle you type life cycle. Okay, inside here, this is how it should be. Now here, what you want basically. So you can mention as I told you, we can do create before destroy. That means before destroying, it has to create new resource, right? By default, the resource whenever you destroy, right, or maybe whenever you update your resource name, automatically Terraform will first destroy the existing, then only they will create with the desired name. But we don't want that to happen. We want first to be created, then only to destroy. So let's see that how we can do that. So I can define create, or you can just use a control space button. There you can see there are other options as well. So I'll say create before destroy. By default false. That means, as I told you, by default Terraform will first destroy the existing resource, then only they will create the new resource. Now in my case, let me create as true. True means, now let's first create it. Let me run my Terraform. Apply auto approve, right? Let's see. As I told you, whenever I will try to change the storage account name. By default, Terraform will try to destroy the existing, then only they will create a new one. But in our case, as I told you, we have given the life cycle. This time it has to first create with the new desired name, then only they will delete the existing resource storage account name. Okay. Meanwhile, I will not commit it, but then I will change something in the storage account name in TF file. Now, if you can see the storage account name, it is something like Atlas storage st storage pulse 01, right? I will make it this one as uh, let's say double one. Instead of single one, double one, I'll make it. So I will save it. I will save it. I will save it. At the same time, let me do one more thing also. I want to also do this also, so that you can see the changes, right? I will do this also at the same time. Prevent destroy. Where I can do prevent destroy, as I told you, it's getting created now. Let it get created. I can do here. It is created. First, let us see by going to the portal. What is the storage account name? Let's just grow. This is our where is my this is the resource group name. My RG 01. This is the storage account we have, right? ST storage pulse 01. This is the storage account right now. We have it in our TF variable file, right? If you see this one, but now I make to 11 instead of single one. I make as 11, so that to check the how the Terraform would behave. Okay. Okay, let's go with one by one first. So let me try to destroy first now. Then, as I told you before destroying, I am trying to say that now. I want to tell to the Terraform that please, you cannot destroy this resource. Let me do that. So as I told you, I'm here. In the same line, I can simply mention prevent destroy. That means you cannot destroy the resources. By default false. That means you can destroy. I want to make as a true, so that I don't want people to destroy. In the sense, I don't want anybody to delete this storage account now. That means I have given the two meta argument. One is for not to destroy. Second is that to create before destroy. That means they will now try to this thing. They will check. It will fail now. Terraform will fail now. Let's see. Let me run Terraform. Destroy. Right. Terraform will fail now because Terraform will check the visible the high priority, right? Because creating mean they can create it, but destroying time, if you see now, see what happens. They're trying to refresh it. As I told you, whenever you're trying to update or something, state file will be something will be checked. See, read the error, right? It is not able to, what it is saying error. I told you it will fail. Now it is failed. Instance cannot be destroyed. Now, if you see the resource that is a particular storage account with the line number 6, line number 6 means if you see under this storage account, you can read here. Resource Azure RM storage account blah blah lifecycle dot prevent destroy set. Lifecycle dot prevent destroy means this one, right? Prevent destroy is set, but the plan calls for the resource to be destroyed. To avoid this error and continue with the plan, either disable lifecycle.prevent destroy or reduce the scope of the plan using the target option. So that means, as I told you, if you set as the prevent destroy as true, that means you cannot destroy any resources unless you disable it. How I can disable it? There are two ways. One is instead of the true, I can make as false, right? Instead of true, I can make it as false. Now that means now Terraform can destroy it, right? Now it should be fine. Now this issue will not this thing. Otherwise, you can remove completely also, depends on your requirement. Okay. Now, as I told you, I have shown you how to do it. Now I have this now right now it is destroy. I have defined, but it is false. That means still they can delete Terraform. Now let's see. Now what Terraform will do if I try destroy? Terraform now will check the state file again, but this time this will take this priority now. That means now before destroying the resource also, this is another argument I have updated. This time I'm trying to say that before destroying the resource, I mean before creating the before destroying the resource, you have to create it, right? Create before destroy is equal to true. That means first it will create a new resource, then it will destroy. If you see here, to destroy, that changes happen right now. If you go, you can see here register, huh? If you yeah, you can just make this off. You can see this particular issues group will have changed the name maybe. Anyway, then the what is that main.tf file variable here, as I told you, state file I have updated for the storage account, right? 11. So let's see. If you see create destroying, what is destroying now? This is existing one, I think. Let me check. Maybe I given some name. Okay, this one still destroying, still destroying, still destroying. Let me check. Maybe there is some mistake. Let me refresh it. Okay, my bad. I should not be destroying. Actually, I thought I was in fact applying. I used a destroying command. That is why it got destroyed. Actually, instead I should have done apply. Okay. Anyway, so it is got destroyed. This is the by default. But now I want to once again apply basically, so that I want to create. But this time I will again go and change the storage account name. Here was file. This name I'll keep it as before 01. Okay. First I want to create, then update it. Then only it should create first. That means you can, why we are using it, destroy mean because as I told you, I have disabled this thing, right? Prevent destroy. I have prevent destroy disabled. That is why I'm able to delete the resources. But this time we will see how we can. What is the command I run? Oh, plan. I need to run the apply. Yeah, let me run apply. Let me create once again. Okay, so you are good with this one, right? You clear with this. Now we'll see this one. Create before destroy. So it may take some time. Meanwhile, as I told you, let it get created. So now if I use this one, create before destroy, it will first create it, then only it will destroy. So meanwhile, it is taking some time. Meanwhile, what I'll do, I'll go here, change the storage account name. Instead of this one, I'll give it 111. Instead of single one, 111. This is stored where this is in your Terraform configuration file. But not the during apply. Now the actual resource will be created. The before what it will be 101. Okay. Let's see. It may take some time, maybe. Let's wait maybe for 2 minutes. Okay, it's got created. Now, as I told you before, the name was 01, right? Let us see. It will be 01. Okay, this is a 01. So this got created successfully. Now, instead of 01, now I have updated as 111 at last, right? 111 I have added. That means this is a new name. By default, if I update the same storage account, by default, Terraform will first destroy the existing and create a new one. But because of the life cycle now, what happens now, automatically Terraform will create a new resource, that is a storage account with this particular name. Then only they will create the existing resource, that is this one. Okay, so let's see. If I do a Terraform apply again, because I have updated, right? If I apply, because I have that means they try to override, right? Try to override now. So now you can see the now. Now you see here, they'll try to check the state file first. As I told you, state file is something very important. They'll check it. Let me expand this also. Yeah. So as I told you, this is my update. Just tell number. This is a minus plus means first create. Plus means first create, then destroy. That means minus. If you say create, replacement, and then destroy. You understood, right? Create, replacement, then only they'll destroy it. Now, what if you see here also? Let me make little this thing. Here you can see the storage account, that is what we are going to, it is going to be replaced, must replace. So now you can also see this all remains same. ID also, this is the name essence, right? Name, storage account name. This was the existing as part of Terraform, I mean in your real-time cloud, and this is the name that we have updated. This will be force replacement. That means from this name to this name it will be updated. That means they will first create the new name. Now let us go down. If you see here, then rest they are going to create it. Now if you go down, now you see the step. First, if you check here, they'll modify this thing. They try to create, right? They try to create that, it is still creating. Finally it is created. After completion of creation only, they are destroying the existing one. If you see the last storage account name, you can see here, right? They are destroying later. But as I told you, initially they will create. You can check the storage account name also here, right? This one. They are creating first, then only they'll destroy. Okay. That means now it will be with a new name. This is the old name, right? It will be a new name now if refreshed it. Yeah, this is a new name. That's how we can use it. Now let's go to the next one. That's as I told you, you have understood create before destroy as well as prevent destroy. Let us understand ignore changes. As I told you, ignore changes, why it is important. Let's say you have something that you have added manually, which is not part of Terraform, right? That means anything, it can be anything. Let me do something in my storage account. This time, let me update some text here. like right now this tags 1, 2, 3, 4, I think, right? This 4 tags was available. I mean, it is coming from your variable here, right? We have defined a tags here. This is coming from the variable file, because in variable file we have defined that this 4 tags, right? So this is why we could see this. Now this time let us understand how we can uh, basically work with these ignore changes. As I told you, ignore changes basically anything that you are working outside of Terraform and you want to ignore the changes, which is that means you don't want to manage that using Terraform. That case we can use it. For example, let me add another tag called as any name I can give. Let's say manage by, let's say uh, you can mention as a like a portal. That means this is managed at portal. No, I will apply. Terraform will not have any problem. I mean, this Terraform will not have any problem. Even portals will not have problem. But when you run the Terraform plan, or maybe this thing, you can see now. Let me show you. Now, as you can see, this tag is managed by portal. That means manually I have added. Now, say for example, same way, maybe somebody have done something else. Maybe this or any other size they might have increased or decreased or whatever, right? So in this case, also we can manage it. Now, as I told you about tag, by default, if I run Terraform plan, I'm saying without defining this one, ignore changes. Now, okay, let me define the ignore changes. Go to main.tf. I will define as a, for now I will make this also these two as ignore changes, right? For now these two I don't need for now. Okay, ignore changes. In my case, I will also hash this out also first now just to show you guys. Right now what I did was, till now let's say in Terraform I have not done anything to changes till now, right? Because I have ignored this also. Now if you notice here, this was created manually. Now if you run Terraform plan, let's see, now you get a message there. There is some changes. They will try to check the state file with your existing resources in cloud. Let me show you. As I told you, they will always check the state file, right? With the real time, real cloud, whatever we are having. So I will show you that. So yeah, if you when there, okay. So if you check, they have refreshed the state file. They have refreshed the state file, and later if you see up there in place, right below there, if you see here this improvement tags, under tags we have npd. There are some tags which are part of the policy that you can ignore, but our interest is to on the tag that we have worked with, that is this thing. Now can you see here, this is a tag we are interested in, nor in this one is from the policy that I have defined it. Ignore this one, but this is the we are interested in, right? This one. Now as I told you, we are interested in the storage account because modify we have done in the storage account level. Now under this one storage account, this is the name of the storage account. There we have a text, under text this is the one managed by portal null. That means by running the plan also I can see what changes happen in the portal level. This is a one way of checking it. Okay, so that way we can understand. If you have an infrastructure running, if you want to understand what all changes happen outside of Terraform, then I can simply run Terraform plan. Okay, now Terraform plan, right? Now, okay, now if I run Terraform apply, as I told you, it is going to first destroy. I will apply it. Right now, I have you can ignore this one. I'm trying to apply so that I can show you. Okay, so this right now, as you can see here, this is there automatically. Once successfully applied, this will be discarded. See, they'll try this thing, try to modify it as I told you. Just wait. See, okay, so they're modifying it. Let's wait. So this time, as I told you, they will only keep which are available as part of Terraform core. They will destroy anything that is outside of Terraform. So now you can see, let me refresh it once, okay? Maybe let me refresh it once properly. Oh, as I told you, this is a storage account name. Let me take you once again. There is a storage account. This is a storage account. I mean, resource group, and this is storage account, right? If you go inside, there is a, you can simply tag your type. As I told you before, we have added one tag manage by portal, right? So this is gone. This is gone because we have run the Terraform apply commands. Plan time, we can see the changes. Apply time in, it will get discard directly. So no changes. Now let me add one more tag, but this time I want to ignore these changes. That means if anybody doing manual changes also, this not remove it from manual, whatever you're doing. If somebody is working, let's say I'm again, I want to use the same manage by, I can mention as portal. I can mention as a V2 or version 2, something like that, just to keep this thing. That is a thing. Okay, I will just give anything. But this time this not remove it because I am doing again manually. But this time Terraform's not remove this one. How can I do? I can enable this now. I can just simply use this thing commands. I can use a tags here. Sorry, tags. That's it. Okay, you can ignore these two because this is commented. This is the ignore changes. That means now what that means, anything outside of Terraform, whatever changes is done, those will be ignored. That means Terraform will not manage that one. Let me check. I will run Terraform again, apply, because as part of this thing, it has to again discard it, right? Because we have added manually again, it has to discard. But we will see now how we can. Okay, so as I told you, let's where. See, one sense. Now, one sense, if you let me go, this time if you go, this should not be discarded. Let me refresh the page. Right, managed by portal B2 version 2. See, that means still Terraform successfully destroyed. I mean, applied it, but then I do not see the changes because still this was created manually, but still it is not destroyed because I have given the here ignore changes life cycle. Okay, this is the beauty. Now let's say I want to manage this also in Terraform. Then how to do? I said before I don't want to manage it, right? There could be situation like, okay, no problem, but now I want to manage this tag also as part of the Terraform. Then how can I do that? Let us see that. So as I told you, first of all, I don't need this at all now. For now, I don't need, because as I told you, I can ignore for now. That means this should not be considered anymore as Terraform code because I have commented. But this time, if as I told you, let me run Terraform plan. Even before that, let me show you in a state file. Okay, so that you will have a proper this thing. If you go here, let me go to the state file because it is applied successfully. Now that state file will not be there, and tag, no particular tag will not be there. I want to see the tag updated or not in the state file. As per my knowledge, it should not be updated state file. You can type a tag tsg right? If you, okay, maybe we have done this thing. Okay, now if you see here, we have the in the state file get updated, and like owner everything get updated. But then, as I told you, this is not managed. We don't want to manage it, so they will check it. We have when we refresh, it got updated. Now, but in this Terraform core, it is not updated. State file is updated, right? Then how can I bring that one? How can I bring that one? Before that, as I told you, always run the Terraform plan. Terraform plan will help you to basically differentiate between your configuration file and the state file. Okay, so let's wait. Now, as I told you, they are showing now. This is not there. Okay, this is not there now, but this is there in the state file, but it is not there in this because, as I told you, this is not there. So the way how we can bring it to Terraform is that, as I told you, now I don't have something called as a lifecycle concept here. That means automatically I should be able to basically delay or do anything, right? Because I don't want to manage anything using the lifecycle. So, but this time I want to bring it to Terraform. Now, what you do? Go here. I mean, go to state file. Check the tag name. This is a tag name, right? This is a tag name managed by. I can simply copy paste this thing. This time, then here I can simply update it. That means you have to refer the state file, right? I can bring it, copy paste it. This time I will, as I told you, this is string. This time, if I use Terraform plan, what happens? Can somebody tell me? If because this time it is not going to destroy because I am managing using Terraform, right? Because I have taken the reference from the state file. I have updated in the Terraform configuration file also. This time, if I run Terraform plan or the apply, what happens? Let's see that. Let me up this time. It is showing that this one is going to be destroyed, right? If you see a minus mean destroy, null. Let's see now this time whether it will come or not. So as I told you, always they'll check the state file along with the state file has to be updated with your cloud, right? Cloud service. That is Azure. That is check. And also they will compare the state file along with your configuration file. As I told you, in your configuration file and the state file, now it is matching because state file has to update it with your cloud and the same state file has to be matched with your Terraform code. Then only there should not be any changes. Right now, this is the reason why you do not see changes. If you see this only come changes because we do not manage this is using the policy. So you can ignore this one. Apart from this one, you do not see anything that changes. Now, that means now if I use Terraform, that no changes, other changes, only this changes because this was done using policy. Apart from this one, we do not see any other changes in text because it is now matching with your configuration, Terraform configuration along with your state file. So, okay, now let me apply also. You will not see any changes. Normally apply time, what happened? It has to destroy, right? Now it will not destroy. Normally, because even here, I have given as the not to this. I have given as this thing. That means this particular will not work anymore because I have commented this one. That means technically it should be deleted now, right? But because we have updated in Terraform and it is available in the state file, so that is why it will not do any changes for you. Let's see. Okay. Now zero destroy or changes. Changes mean only as I told you, this is the only changes. These changes also I didn't mention anything. This is why whatever I have the updated, this will be updated here. Now let me refresh it 1 second. Okay, this is how it works. Yeah, this is how we can do it. Okay, so yeah, team, any questions till now? Hello, is it am I audible?
Yes, bro. No, no doubts as of now.
No doubt. Okay. Okay. Then next, 2:30 we started. Right? Okay. We have 20 minutes more. I will do you one quick. I will share you one very quick things. That is about the state file managing it, right? So as I told you, state file also we can manage it in many ways. State file is nothing but the state file which we are talking about is this one, right? Terraform.tf state file. Normally this, if you remember till now, we are basically storing this state file in a local system. Now let us see how we can basically store this state file in our centralized location, that is using storage account. Okay. In order to do that, um, what we can do is that we need to create a storage account. This storage account, as I told you, this can be created again using manually or the Terraform. But to make things simple, I will go ahead and create using maybe manual way. Okay, GUI mode. I will go manually and just create so that I can show you what all what is facilities are there. You can ignore this is there part of the Terraform, but I want to create one manually. Just this is just for the storage. I mean state file. So I can select anything like a state file RG, something like that. I can give anything name as your files location. Let it be any location, no matter. And region also for now it's okay. Primary is that's okay. Standard is okay. This also okay. I'll keep everything as default because LRS. Okay. Next, we have to go here is here. In advanced option also, this all we can ignore for now. Okay, access key and all that is I will discuss if at all required. Here I don't need for now anything. Let me go next. Next is also, as I told you, let me access for the publicly for now on all network endpoint. I don't need anything for now. The next, this is very important. Okay, under data protections, if you notice here, enable sub delay for blobs. I have enabled it, sub delay, right? And by default it is enable. So I will disable it for now. I don't need it. And if that means days to retain deleted containers, 7 days. Okay. Now enable sub delete for the file also. I will disable this also. And this is the thing we are talking about. Manage version and keep track of changes you made to your blob data. That means, as I told you, we need to store our state file somewhere in our centralized location. This is where we need to enable it so that every single changes or commit that you do or run the pipelines, automatically they should be able to track the changes that you make it. Okay. Yeah, for now I will just enable versioning for blobs. Rest I want to keep as it is. I just go and create it. As I told you, this normally you will be using Terraform. This already we learn how to do it, right? This all we learn how to do a storage account. Same way we can create it. Let me create it. Normally this state file will not have access to you all. Only the project whoever senior in the team, maybe manager or maybe your your lead, no, they will have access to this state file. Not everybody would have access. But you need to know how to manage the state file also, right? So it may take maybe around 1 minute. Let's wait. By that time, what we will do, we will see documentations. You simply type in your Google Chrome. If you're talking about, I mean, there are two ways, right? If you're using the like Azure service, and as for the backends, you can use a storage account. And if you're going with the AWS, you can use the S3 bucket along with DynamoDB. Okay, DynamoDB is for the state locking because it has a capabilities for state locking also. Maybe I will discuss this also in some time. Maybe yeah, it's done. Okay, great. Successfully the storage account being created. Now let me go to container, or simply you can type containers, because as I told you, I need to store my state file, right? So I need somewhere some repository I need, right? So I need to make a container. So I can give anything, let's say any name you want, whatever name you want. I can mention as a Pulse container or something like that. I should be small letter. Okay, it should be small letter. For now, I don't care about anything settings or anything because we are focusing on the container name. That's it. Creating. That means now I'm trying to say now, please, this is the content name. Under here, I have to store my state file. Which one? That is my terraform.tf state file. So let's do that. So sometimes difficult to refer documents, or if you know this thing, you can type here. So example, I can open one more tab here in the same folder. Normally it will be stored in somewhere else, but just for the this thing sake of this thing, I'm going to do here backend.tf Perl file. So I will make this little maybe down. Let me type backends. Sorry, like that. See, it will not come. Right? So if you type also, it will not come like this. The reason was we need to get the proper syntax. So how can I get that one? As I told you, if you don't know how to get it, just type storage backend for in Azure. You type in Azure. Sorry, Terraform. Storage backend automatically they will give you some documentations. You can go this one official documentation. Okay. So if you go here, as I told you, there is something called as a state, storage, and lock. That means it will store the state or else the locking system. Question is why locking system is important. Also, I will discuss in just a minute. Okay. Maybe I can go to resource. Okay, maybe let me search properly. You can while searching this carefully search. You just mention Azure Storage account backend or state file, even a state file. Just type backend otherwise. Backend Azure Terraform, like that, something like that. Sometime the documents will not take you somewhere else. So I will select the official Microsoft documentations. They also have documented so well. So come down. You just read here configure Terraform backend state. This is what I want. This is how we can do it. But as I told you, Terraform, I can select this one. If I see here, if I means this was already defined, right? And the same thing I can define here backends. This is how we need to define. So that means backend has to be within a provider or outside of provider also is okay. So as long as you define it. So in my case, I will define inside the provider, then I don't have to define outside. This is according to their best practice. So we will also try to follow them as well. All right. So I will define it. Provider we have it under provider, as I told you. Let me check. This is under same syntax. What under version? Good products. Yeah. 1 minute. Otherwise, I can copy this everything because while copying, no, the syntax maybe something not correct. This is under provider required or under required providers, right? So there are two lines. I can define it. Maybe this ones I can copy. The things they while copying, no, not here. And the provider here on the backend. So maybe yeah, here I can define backend like that. So you can type also, you can define it. So the syntax, as I told you, you have to carefully check it. So okay, let's see. I'll just keep it as it is for now. As I told you, what is a backend Azure RM? What is a storage account name? That means I need to update. What is a resource group name? Resource group name for what? Resource group name for my storage account. That means let me go here. Let me take the resource group. This is my resource group name for the storage account, right? So I will copy paste it. As I told you, this has to be normally hard-coded value. If you manage it already Terraform, that's good. Then storage account name, you can replace it. What else next? Container name. This container name also, as I told you, you have created, right? Under containers, you might have created all these container, right? This is a container name you would be needing. So I can copy paste it. It is a container name. Sorry, my bad. Shit, my bad. Let me copy once again. Okay, let me copy paste it this also. Then this is important thing, like as I told you, this is by default. If you see here terraform.tfstate, similar way, it is also available for terraform.tfstate. Don't try to change this one, keep it as standard. Okay, we are good here now. I will save this one. I will delete this backend. As I told you, I can define outside or anything is okay. For now, I don't need it. I have defined another provider only. Now we are good. Now that means state file has to be updated here, right? So let me see. Try to refer the documents. Now it is saying the resource group, whatever we are using, right? So you don't have anything. Now let's go here. Now if I run Terraform once again, what happens? Let's see. If I run Terraform once again, let's say I will do Terraform up plan. I will do. Let's see what happens. Okay. If you see plan, if I run what it says now, the backend initializations require please run Terraform init. Reason initialize configuration of the requested backends, that is my Azure RM. The reason why it is coming because in my provider I have defined it here, right? In your other providers, because that is required, right, as part of this thing. So the backend is the interface that Terraform uses to store state. This is what we are going to do it. So that means now I have to run the Terraform once again. Okay. So as per this thing, let me run. So once you upgrade the state file, you have to run it. Or there are two way of doing it. Migrate, like you can use a Terraform init dash upgrade double dash, I think so. Upgrade, right? Let me check. Now you can see what happens. What is the saying? Initialize backend, acquire a state log, maybe take some time. Do you want to copy the existing state file to the new backends? That means this is when you use a back upgrade arguments. That means if you have existing here, right, this is there, right? Whether you want this to be moved to the storage account. I say yes, of course I need. Yeah, I can mention this thing. Okay, that means now, yeah, as I told you, they're initializing, everything is going well. Now they'll check everything. The Terraform has been successfully initialized, everything now. Now let's go back maybe. Now let me check in the here under containers. As you can see, right? We have a state file. Terraform the state file. That time there is nothing. We have because the only we are moved to, if you want to bring it from the existing to here, mean you simply use these arguments. If I use a Terraform init, only it will only the initialize a new backend for you. This thing. Otherwise, if you want to bring it or upgrade from your existing local to the remote, that is a storage account, you have to use these arguments. Okay. In my case, yes, we have done it successfully. Is what we are able to see right now. So as I mentioned, you can see the same name terraform.tf state file. Now let me go to the existing what we have. Let me refresh this also. The same state file. This, if you delete also this one, because as I told you, you can delete, do anything, nothing will happen now. I can delete it because the same copy would have there also. Let me just check. This is the existing one. You can see, right? This not, so this is the thing. So it is gone. It is because it is moved. It's the 0 KB now. It is moved to where cloud. Same way now is 0 KB. If you go to the this thing, Terraform, sorry, storage account, as I told you, you have it here now with the same state file name, and you can see here blob 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 blob. What is the size? This is the MKB available list. So question is now what is the advantage of having your state file somewhere in your storage account or maybe in your centralized location? The first advantage is that say for example we were working here individually. I was only the person who's working. Same thing, let's say some other person in the team or maybe different person, they want to work with this particular what do you call state file or maybe resources, the Terraform resource. Say for example, same code, Terraform code in let's say they're also having it, they want to modify something or they want to do something, right? So how they can basically work as a team, right? So it is not at all possible because as I told you, state file is must. Without having state file, you cannot work with Terraform. So this is the reason why we are trying to basically keep the state file somewhere in the centralized location so that it is accessible to everybody whoever needs access. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, it will be basically let's say if you keep in a local system, something happened to the system or something system get crashed, then your state file is lost, then everything is gone, then you cannot manage your infra. Okay, and third thing, there's an option called there is a list state locking file. State locking, if you just I just told in some time before, let me show you there also once, right? Why state locking is important, right? That's also, sorry, my bad, it is a dev.portal. If you remember, whenever I create a storage account, right, there is a state locking options are there. You cannot see here when this thing, but there is a state locking option here. As I told you, here we have it. Now list, we have state, we have a state list. What it is, what is it actually it means, right? First of all, if you're using a state list, that means question is why do we need this state list? Why it is important, right? First thing we need to understand, say for example, as I told you, this is currently in your centralized location. That means everybody would have access to this particular state file. That means anybody can run the Terraform commands or Terraform whatever they want to deploy or destroy. They can do it anything, right? Now, say for example, I'm doing, I have the core, I have the state file access. I'm doing in my local system because they have state file, they can also do it. Same time, at the same time, other from different team or maybe same team also trying to perform some other activity, right? Within the same Terraform code. Then what happens? How Terraform will know or how the Terraform state file will come to know which is the correct one, which is not correct, or maybe which one to consider as the primary selection, right? Because Terraform state file will get conflict. The reason is, as I told you, every single changes that we are making it has to be updated in new state file. Now people or everybody keep updating something or the other, multiple people will be doing means definitely the state file, there are chances to have a crash, right? Of course, this can be a cause. Can this is the reason why there is an option called as a listed. That means at the same time, whether you have 100 people, if you have access also, all 100 people will not have access. I mean, they cannot basically run the Terraform apply during others running. Let's say I'm running Terraform apply commands, some other person cannot run that time or do modify anything that time. So that to maintain your state file according to this thing in current infrastructure, that is why we are using this thing, so that we can avoid losing your state file or maybe crashing your state file. This is the reason. Now let me show you, this is now available, right? Let me run Terraform. What happened now? At the same time, if I try to maybe I'll try to I will remove this time lifecycle, for example. Just say, for example, something I changed. Okay. Then let me run Terraform apply. Now, as I told you, echo, if you just remember, before it was not there. Now, if you see here, echoing state log, that means let's go back. Let me refresh the page. Now it is available, right? Let me refresh the page. You can see, right? Before it was available, now it is list. That means somebody is working in the Terraform. That means I'm working on that. Or maybe some other person is working. This is the reason why this state file locking is so important. This is the reason why we are using storage account, because storage account has the capabilities to do this sort of mechanism. That's a state locking this thing. Unless you complete your Terraform this commands or maybe successfully completed, you will be able to see this one as listed as a list. But once you complete this one, automatically this will be changed as available. That means only one person at the same time can be updated or maybe work with Terraform with certain level of this thing. Okay. But note one thing, you have to note that Terraform, they can work, they can do anything, they can write a Terraform code, no problem. I'm saying it while applying the Terraform commands. That means while you're trying to modify something that time only. Okay, now you can see here, after successfully done modification, they have done it. Now it is only that only releasing state log. This capability is there in storage account. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, okay, this is the first thing we understood. Now let me just refresh and stop the list because I need to refresh it. Now it will be as available as I told you, it's available. Okay. Now let me go. Now if you want this to, if you want to download also, we can actually we can download this also. There is an option, right? You can see there is so many options. If you want to download the state file, I can simply click here. I can click here. I can download. That means same state file, just like how we have seen here. Also possible to download and see what is there. Let me just click here. Let me open in here, right? Notepad. We can see the changes, right? So as I told you, this is because we have destroyed it everything. So state file will get updated. If you see here to destroy, right? This is why right now in the state file we do not see much information. It will be as a null because it got updated. Okay. Next what we need to understand here, another thing, there is an option to properties. Normally we don't do much. Even this option also we can generate as SAS also. Okay. Now if you click here, SAS is nothing but why we want to use a SAS. Say for example, this particular state file, for any reason you want to say to somebody, right? For certain time, let's say this is my start from today to maybe next couple of days or maybe time. You can define when it has to expire. This kind of, you can also give a IP. That means they can also access the state file. You can just create here and just share the URL to them. That's it. That is also possible, but we don't have to do that. What is next now? Next, we also have a view version. As somebody was asking that time, how would Terraform, how can we know which changes happen when, right? Now, if I click here, view version, I can check it here. You can see here. There are so many view version, right? Now, so many things till now, because this all coming from where? Because as I mentioned, we have a state file in a local system. This was migrated using Terraform init dash upgrade commands. It got migrated basically from your local system to your remote, that is your uh, Azure, right? Storage account. This is why all the state file, whenever you modify time, date, version ID, every single details are updated over here. That is how we can track it. So easy, right? So that's the beauty of having it. In case if you want also this one as a uh, different way of doing snapshot, that's also we can have an option of doing that also. Like you can see, right? You can create here, let's say particular version I want. I can select the once I select the particular version, let's say let me go particular version, whatever changes happen, so I can share this one also as long as they have access. This way also we can check it. This is a previous version. If you go with the latest one, it will show as the latest version, something like that. Now there is an option, as I told you, snapshot. If I click a snapshot, there is a create snapshot, right? Now snapshot, see automatically which snapshot is taken now, the latest one basically. They will try to take the snapshot that one. So now automatically one snapshot is taken. That also possible. And also if you want to edit, as I told normally, you do not basically this thing. Let me just to make thing. Let me once again apply edit so that it will create. Now you can right now, as I told you, all resources got deleted. That is why it is not showing any resource information. Okay. So this all like kind of what you call options are there using state file. Now this is for the Azure point of view, but when it comes to AWS, there is something called as a S3 bucket. We all know, right? That's like a storage account, it works S3 bucket, and that is just to store the blob. That means just to store the state file. But what about this one? In S3 bucket, they does not have the capability of release concept, state locking concept. But in storage account, in one storage account service itself, we can store the state file or the blob, whatever you can call it. State file is wants to call as state file, right? Along with that, it also have the capability, basically that is for the state locking. Okay, but in AWS case, as I told you, we have to use a separate service for that if you want this thing. So they are going to use S3 bucket along with DynamoDB. So that is how we need it works. Now as I told you, it is maybe taking some time. Let's wait. We can see there is an option. Also there is, if you notice one more thing, you can see that here we can change it here also. That's not important. But if you see here, acquire release. Now what is acquire? There is an option called break release. So when can I use it? Example, I'm running something now. Something happened here. The state file is locked for any reason. That means it is fully stuck. That means nobody would have access or do anything in Terraform apply commands, right? Or maybe they cannot modify anything in the Terraform side. So that time there is an option called as a acquire release, a break release, right? You can select as a break release. That means automatically the release will be the what I call this what I call a state locking will be break. That means you can rerun once again your Terraform commands or maybe whatever you want to do it. Okay, right now it is not stuck, so we cannot see. If you want to acquire also, as I told you, like you can see successful acquire list for the following blobs. While the list is active, you must include the list ID within request to write to the blob. So like this also we can do it. So there are so many options. So this way also we can do it, but no, you don't have to do all this as I told you, because you need to know what is happening in the background when you're changing or anything, right? Now let me run once again the Terraform, maybe apply. I have done it. If I go state file, as I told you, this time I will have a data. Now you can see now, right? Because acquire I did it, right? That time acquire is there, but I'm not doing anything. Acquire I'm doing, but I'm not doing anything. So now this time I can break it, because acquire means you're acquiring something that really for certain time. So this time, but basically if you see here, I'm not doing anything now. The Terraform is fully success. No, I can simply click on here, break release. If you see here, breaking the list will allow this particular this thing to be deleted or modify. Are you sure you want to do it? Yes. That means you have to be very careful while doing it, this one. Okay. This is the reason normally you will not have access to this state file. This has to be stored somewhere in a nice place, a secure place, or maybe some the authorized person would have access. Now you can see the whatever we have the resources, right? Those all I can see that information now. Okay. So yeah, all right, team. So that's all for today. So let's wind up the sessions. We'll connect again next week. So thank you once again for joining us. Have a nice weekend.